And welcome to Tarot Time. And if you're here watching this as a video after 11 a.m. Sunday, well, we can count you in as going live also. So it's Tarot Time. So we're going to talk tarot. We're going to do a weekly forecast that may be your personal forecast, or maybe one that affects more your community or family or the world at large. Do a meditation card and suggestion. And we have other divination tools, angel cards, and stuff like that. So, welcome. So, we're going to, for those again that are watching as a video, I'm going to start in just a minute. We give the live people a minute or two to get their notifications, and I'm going to drink some water. I'm just watching a video earlier this morning about the discoveries about waters like in the cosmos and water on the sun and all that stuff. So, everything's connected to water in the cosmos, which is amazing. So let me say a few quick hellos. Hi, Angela and Children's School of Yoga. Hi, Colleen and Carissa and Judy and Brooke. And oh my God, there's a lot of comments. Hi, Michael and Chris and Jody and Rose and Suzette and anybody that I'm missing. Hi to you guys also. So while people are still coming in, today is a very active day here on the Medium channel. And actually, it's going to be a really active week. So we're going to be doing a lot of live streams. So Children's School of Yoga, that's Doreen. She's the founder of the Children's School of Yoga. And the last Sunday of the month, she comes on the channel to do a nice yoga set with us. So that's going to happen at 5 p.m. live here. Then at 7 o'clock, we have Ergo from the Psychedelic Actualization channel talking about the role of plant medicines and psychedelics in spirituality. So if you have any curiosity about that, or if you feel called to psychedelics at all, definitely check that out. Definitely watch that. He's a very knowledgeable young man, so, and I'm really psyched that I have him coming on. So, and then Tuesday. So let's flash forward. Well, Monday's the live video, but that's on Spirit Mind Family. That's our Patreon group, and of course, on the pinned comments, I'll leave you a little information on how you can find out about that group and maybe join. Then Tuesday is going to be medium night, mediumship night here on the Medium channel. So in celebration of Imbolg and Candlemas, or whatever other names that we give to this time of year, Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, even Groundhog's Day has a little bit of a, shall we say, a trace element of the meaning of Imbolg or Candlemas. I'll explain that in a second because that's happening this week. So this is a very interesting week. But the point that I was making originally is that around the Celtic Sabbats, which there's 8 of them during the year, we do free live mediumship here on the Medium channel. So come on in. Maybe you'll get a message. That'll be Tuesday at 7 p.m. So hi, Elevated Intuition, Tarot, and Spirituality. So we have a great tarot reader on here also. Well, me too. So we have 2 great tarot readers, maybe more. Who else? Hi, Beth. Beth's Healing Temple. Wow. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and being here. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. It's cloudy outside, just kind of like what's going on in my brain this morning. But as I often explain, that Sunday morning is basically my Saturday morning after a really long week of doing readings and talks and classes and all that stuff. So if I'm a little bit fried and I repeat myself over and over again, I'm thinking of this King Crimson song in my mind from the album Discipline, where at some point in the song, Adrian Belew stops singing, just starts talking, and he goes, I repeat myself and under stress. I repeat myself and under stress. I repeat myself and under stress. Always keep your sense of humor, guys. Let's be funny. And Carissa, the originator of the smile attack, is on. So welcome also. So she knows a thing or two about keeping high vibrations and that laughter is the best medicine. And hi, Mr. Floyd. Also, yes, yes. Show the possibilities. Yes, indeed. All right. So February 1st, February 2nd, all that's coming this week. Imbolg is Gaelic for I think in the belly. And basically what happens around February 1st is we're noticing the sun's a little stronger. It's a little bit brighter out. We're noticing that the sun's setting a little bit later. Well, in the northern hemisphere anyways. And we're also noticing that there's some stirrings of life, like we start to maybe hear more birds in the morning, and traditionally the groundhog kind of comes out of its little cave of hibernation, in the womb of Mother Earth. I mean, I don't know if groundhogs really hibernate, but they do go into the ground, so they slow down their rhythms like a lot of animals do in the winter, and then they come around and they see their shadow, that's sunlight, so that's the light. They see their shadow, they go back to hibernate and finish their hibernation cycle for another 6 weeks or so. If they don't, then something's wrong, and then they have to come out of their shadows, out of their hibernation. But anyway, point being is that this is what this is a point of the year where the seasons are starting to shift, and the the irony of it, if irony is even the right word, is that it's midwinter. Like this is the coldest time of the winter. I mean, it varies from location to location, but the third or the fourth week of January is traditionally the peak of winter, and into the first week of February also. So anyway, here we are at the very end of January, ready to come into this this rebirth energy as the sun's getting stronger, and the earth is starting to activate, and the energy starting to move a little bit more. And this year all the planets are now direct, so we have a very unusual 3 month long period where nothing's in retrograde until our next Mercury retrograde in April. So since Mercury goes retrograde every 3.5 months or so, that's about as long as you can possibly have all planets direct, is what's going on now. And basically, Mercury went direct, and then earlier in the month, and then what was it, a week later or less even, that then Uranus went direct, and that was the last planet that was retrograde. So we had this whole Mercury cycle minus 2 or 3 days of all planets direct. So when everything's direct, it's kind of time to do things. It's kind of time to move forward. When we have a lot of retrograde, it's kind of time to go inward and digest lessons, or do shadow work, or plan things, or whatever. So these are just natural rhythms of the universe. Everything's in rhythm and timing in the universe. So retrogrades aren't a bad thing or a negative thing, of course, unless your computer breaks, or your scheduling, goes to crap or whatever. But anyway, I think that you get the idea. So hi, Colleen. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if I'm going to post that comment. Oh, this is interesting. So hi, Paul. Welcome. And if the old crone, the oldest woman of a town, if she comes out for firewood, then 6 more weeks of winter. Interesting, yeah. And in pagan and Celtic or Wiccan lore, the goddess or deity is the threefold, or the triple goddess, the maiden, mother, and the crone is the old wise woman. So that's like an embodiment of the divine feminine, at least in my understanding. Thanks for bringing that up. And what are you saying? My feet keeps going down. Oh, okay. We're song. Here comes the sun. Na 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 na. Manifested. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. All right. We got that one. Okay. I missed this. I wasn't gonna. Because of you were saying about something troubling that happened, but you manifested. Okay. All right, so keep manifesting. This or something greater will manifest for the highest good. So keep manifesting, and yeah, perhaps there'll be a better job. All right, so let's maybe talk a little bit about tarot since it's tarot time and all that stuff. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull a card for meditation card right now, and maybe I can take my glasses off for a second. Um, and this will be what spirit suggests for us as a community, for you individually, and there may be some meaning behind it. But meditating with tarot cards, the way I recommend for those that are here for a first time, and if you are, you could say hi and let us know who you are, where in the big wide world you're watching from, and all that good stuff. And of course, we always like to know if we're coffee, tea, or caffeine free on a Sunday morning. Just joking. Uh, but these are questions that we ask. Or what do we have for breakfast? I haven't had breakfast yet, and I'm in a good mood. So you guys have no excuse if you're not. um, so anyhow, mixing cards up. So as you meditate with tarot, the idea is to get maybe a mental image of the card, or work with your own card and get very relaxed. Some meditation will always be a process of getting out of your thinking mind, and we can do that through our breath, through cultivating our breath and cultivating our presence. Told you it's a Sunday morning. Cultivating our presence, and that's basically what meditation is. We're not thinking. We're just aware. We're here now. Basically, be here now, as Ram Dass wrote. And once you get to that state where you're in neutrality, when you're in presence, then in your mind you visualize the card, and the card, like here I've got the eight of wands here in the bottom, and the card is just the window or the doorway into a whole new reality, a whole new world. So when you step through the card, gauge what you feel when you see the scene, but also start to become aware of the whole panoramic scene. There may be people, there may be other images or whatever, and it's all coming through your imagination. It's like you're stepping through a portal when you step through a tarot card into a whole new reality, um, basically. So that's how to do it. So let's see what Spirit's saying is the right meditation card for the week, for us, our community. uh, so thank you. I'm catching part of your conversation as I'm doing this. So Chris is saying lots of coffee this morning. I had tea earlier. I had my 5 hours of sleep or so. That's, to me, that's a full night's sleep. And woke up. I do my about an hour or so, and then I do my cold showers. I do about an hour or so of meditation, breathing, presence, and heart brain coherence works. That's part of my morning meditation routine now. And then I do my cold showers, and then I'm about 40 minutes warming up after my cold showers, especially in January in the Catskills. So there's snow on those mountains. They drain into the groundwater and eventually wind up in my pipes and come out of my shower head. So basically, it's snow melt. um, but I rarely get ill. I rarely get viruses. I'm almost always in a good mood. I'm healthier than I've ever been. You know, other than natural aging stuff. I'm 64 now, and yeah, a lot of it is my spiritual routines and cold showers, or some people do cold plunges, which is sort of the next step up. Um, Maybe one of these days I'll fill my tub up with ice water and try that. Sometimes in the spring when it's not below freezing outside, I'll go down to the creek. I live right by a nice creek in the Catskills, and I'll sit in the creek for a minute or a minute and a half and do a cold plunge that way. And in the spring, it's in the 40s. That's plenty cold enough, especially the early spring. So anyhow, Yeah, I'm thinking Wim Hof now. He was basically the guru on using the cold as a spiritual tool. And for those of you that don't know him, he's run let's see, a half marathon barefoot north of the Arctic Circle, a full marathon in the Kalahari Desert, climbed some of the tallest peaks in the world without any oxygen and in shorts, and is able to sit and has been tested sitting in ice water. So basically, it's like water filled with ice cubes. So that water is between 32 and 34 degrees, sitting there for 18 minutes, and then it without his body temperature dropping, at all, basically. So that's the power of the mind, mind over matter. That's how I healed diseases the doctors couldn't heal that I had my whole life. So anyway, there's an unscheduled little lesson on developing your relationship with the cold and how that can be a real tool of self-actualization. Yes. Yeah, and blindly inspired, saying the Iceman. That's his nickname. Mount Everest, in short. So thank you, Elevated Intuition. So you know since she has a very nice tarot and wisdom channel on YouTube. Check that out. And if you want more astrology, check out Integral Astrology with Armand Diaz. I purposely don't watch his weekly forecast because I don't want any other information influencing what I'm saying. But once I'm done, he does it his on Saturdays. You can check out his weekly forecast based on the astrological aspects that are happening this week. Yes. Agreed. And Blindly Inspired going on to say how he healed his deep trauma through the work that this is Wim Hof, the Iceman. All right. So I mix cards up. Traditionally, we do tarot. We divide into 3 piles that can represent the 3 fates, or the 3 the 3 in the 1, or the 1 in the 3, or whatever. But that's traditional. We to divide tarot cards into 3 piles and bring them back into 1 before doing any kind of a reading or messages. So the next trick is not thinking. So when we're not thinking, we can connect with spirit. But when we are thinking, we can't connect with spirit, or at least not to the same degree. So as I often say, when I'm thinking, I'm not connecting. When I'm connecting, I'm not thinking. And seeing dogs also. So perhaps somebody's, I don't know if anybody in this group had to put one of their dogs to sleep, or biggish dog, I want to say also. All right, so we usually get major arcana cards or court cards for a meditation card. I'd say 3 out of 4 weeks. The major arcana, those are the ones that have the words. The death card is key 13, and that represents transformation. So anytime we have a spiritual upgrade, we basically have a death and then a rebirth. So that's what the death card means. It's about rebirth. It's not about dying or anything scary or anything like that. And it's key 13. So 13 reduces to 4, which is Uranus ruled numerology. So Uranus, I think the moon is conjuncting Uranus today in Taurus. Uranus has been in Taurus a lot. So be aware of any kind of, in the next day or 2, little financial surprises. But people will automatically assume that that's a bad thing. Financial surprises can be a really good thing also. But when Uranus is involved with anything, surprises happen. Expect the unexpected. So the death card is actually ruled by the sign Scorpio. So it's Pluto influence energy also. So perhaps part of the warrior's creed is that we use death as an advisor. And as part of this is part of my evening usually, that I'll just use my death as an advisor, and I'll kind of be like, if this is going to be my last day on earth, I thank you for my life. I'm ready, and take me away. I'm ready. So it may sound morbid to some people, but but that but the idea is that death is nothing to fear. Death is just a natural progression of our life after life, the cycles of life. We're in midwinter. We're certainly in that season of death here in the northern hemisphere, but it's not death. It's just that the energies of the trees have gone into the roots, so the leaves have died, and some of the seasonal plants have died, but then they get reborn in the spring. So it's very synonymous. So the idea, step in the car. You can even ask, show me about maybe my death, or even better yet, as you step in, set the intention to connect with your spirit loved ones that have crossed over as well. But whatever you do, the idea is just get a mental snapshot, and get relaxed, get into your meditation, step into the card, see the panoramic view. There may be other guides that are around you. You may start to tap into your spirit loved ones and see what message you get and talk to them. And again, death is initiation. This is an interesting, and I think that it's coming up because I've been doing tarot time over 2 years. That's basically over 100 over 100 meditation cards. We've never gotten the death card before as a meditation card. So I think a lot of us in this community are on the threshold of a major awakening. So, and as I'm talking, I feel like Spirit saying, well, for some of us, we need to let something go this week. Whether it's like cigarettes if we were a smoker, or eating the wrong foods, or maybe like mentally indulging over like somebody that we have a crush on, our mental patterns, or whatever it is. Set the intention that some behavior that hasn't necessarily served you well in this lifetime, that there's going to be a death of that, and then step into the card and then ask Spirit to help you out with that. Whatever it is for you. I mean, we all have something, right? I certainly have a few that I can think of also. So next thing, let's do a 3 card spread. I just want to peek with that. Hugging my trees. Yeah, hug trees. Yes. We like hugging trees. Yes. There you go. No random examples here, right? What was saying? If the world changed tomorrow, what would you be thankful for today? Beautiful message. Yes. Thank you. Absolutely. So let's do a 3 card spread. I'm just mixing my cards up. As I'm saying that, I feel like not necessarily this week, but over the next 2 weeks, a good amount of us are really going to be faced with some life-changing decisions. I feel like Spirit's saying a lot has come to a head in our lifetimes, and the knowledge that we just can't continue the way we've been continuing is really starting to hit home for a lot of us, basically. And this is shared in the world around us, those of us that are more sensitive, or that are more awake than the average. But I think a lot of you can really identify with this, that you've kind of reached a point where I just can't do this anymore. It's just not working for me. And maybe things have been mulling around in your mind for a while, but it's more like now it's just really come to a head. It's just like the evidence around you's really just gotten undeniable, basically. Well, congratulations. Just means you're awakening. And sometimes you just need to reach that threshold, that point where you're finally willing to face discomfort in order to overcome limiting beliefs, limiting energies, whatever it is, in order to grow and ascend, and to just live your lives, with more fulfillment, and taking more appropriate risks, no fears, basically. Yes, thank you. So for those that missed it, at 5 o'clock we have yoga time with Doreen of Children's School of Yoga. At 7 o'clock we have Ergo from Psychedelic Actualization Channel to talk about
spirituality, the role of using hallucinogens or plant medicines as tools for spiritual growth. And the spiritual community is divided, so it makes for a really good debate. But he's here to teach us, if we want to explore that, how to do it safely, how to do it properly, and all that good stuff. So I'm really, really excited for this interview. Um, I think more than I have been for. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I've had some. They've all been exciting interviews. I'm thinking about Blindly Inspired. She did one on feng shui recently. We had Tammy Magnuson on EFT, and then Lily Nova on star seeds, and Elaine Malloy on advanced healing. I'm like, we've had some really amazing guests here, and it's just going to continue. It's just going to keep growing as it is. Our channel grew a lot in January, by the way, and a lot of that's thanks to you guys and sharing this with your friends and them getting interested also. So thank you for that as well. So Pauline's trying to get me to remember that not this Wednesday and Thursday, or is it Thursday and Friday? It's February the 8th and the 9th. We're doing an online class on channeling and automatic writing and spirituality. So I'm going to teach you guys how to channel, do energy channeling, how I do it, how I learned, and how I teach it. So that's going to be an intensive 6-hour course, very well priced, and more information will be on the pinned comment when this becomes a video. Now I need to clear my mind, because when I'm thinking, I'm not connecting, and when I'm connecting, I'm not thinking. Clearing mind. Asking Spirit to guide me to the perfect 3 cards for this week for our community. Putting the cards on the table now. Moving my microphone so there's room. Sorry, you have to watch me licking my dry fingers. Oh, we got a twofer, so we actually have 4 cards today. All right. 4 is a good number. 4 is Uranus. We're talking about Uranus. So basically interesting, because the last 2 came out together. So when that happened, I generally almost kind of read them like they're one card. So here's what we pull. Excuse me a second. Here's what we got. Okay. 3 of Wands, or rods, in this deck. 4 of Wands. So there's definitely, when we progress numbers in the same suit like that, we're progressing in our lives, basically. So also, that's important. And then we go to the 7 of rods. But really interesting stuff. What does 3 plus 4 equal? Oh my God! Don't do math on a Sunday morning. No, I'm just teasing. But the 7 of Wands blends here with the Knight of Swords reversed. So those of you that are quitting smoking or drinking or whatever it is, congratulations. The universe has your back, I want to say also. There's really a message here about standing up for yourself, I want to say, in the face of adversity, and standing in your power, standing in your own truth. It doesn't matter if other people don't believe you or don't believe in you, and try to really own that this week, that there's always going to be somebody that's going to try to put you down or make you feel less than. And the reason is that a lot of people are very programmed based on fear, and that fears of the unknown. That goes back to the death card we were talking about. So it's a survival instinct. So when you find somebody just really criticizing your beliefs or trying to guilt or shame you or whatever, it's really their fear they're not aware of the unknown that's being activated. It's a survival instinct. So rather than reacting, try to just step back and be compassionate But compassionate doesn't mean that you allow somebody else to control your energy or negatively influence your energy. That's part of compassion also. It's like, my heart's open to you. I understand, that you're suffering or whatever, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be affected by that. Because if I'm affected by your suffering, then I'm diminished, and that diminishes my ability to help myself, to be on my path, to be in my power, as well as to help other people, as well to heal. So I think that this is a message that's really going to that's really going to be relevant for a lot of people. Thank you, Cheryl, for that. Um, um, so the idea, let's not be in victim mentality, basically, right? Um, and and so forth. So definitely that. Now, these are really nice cards, by the way. So, I feel like, especially early in the week, just kind of give yourself a little pat on the back, or a pat on the heart, even better. When we pat our heart like this, we can activate the heart frequency just by doing that, or rubbing our heart. And by the way, as I'm saying that, the master teachers, or my guides, are kind of coming through and saying, tell them about tapping the body, doing the body tapping. And this is something that we do in yoga practice. And basically, and I'll kind of show you. It's like you just kind of just keep tapping your body, and you go like through your arms, through your other arms, through your back, through your neck, through your head. It's like, don't worry about me. It's like I can just hear somebody just tuning in that doesn't know what we're doing. Say, why is he hitting himself? Why is he doing that to himself? And then you can do your legs and so forth. And on a physiological level, it gets the blood moving, and it helps to move toxins out of the cells. So do that also. That we're coming up to the full moon, so it's not really, and everything's direct. So it's not really energetically the big detox period that tends to come after the full moon, but still, that'll help to energize also. Um, and sometimes this will show up around weddings or celebrations, so there may be some of that. I know Valentine's Day is coming up. A lot of people like to get married around Valentine's Day and everything, and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, so it's very healing to do that as well. Now, wands or rods is fire. It's energy. It's action. Everything's going direct now. Take action in some area of your life. To take more action. We start out with the Three of Wands. Three, it's expansive energy. It's Jupiter ruled. It's very successful. It's kind of like as I'm looking at this card, I feel like I'm supposed to say not to worry so much of what's going on in the world around you. I mean, be aware, obviously, always be aware, but not to worry or be fear based. Not to be because the figure's kind of looking more on the horizon, and the wands, like, which are like his success, like his foundations or his structure, I want to say. He's not really seeing that. He's kind of looking out into the water and sort of maybe planning the next step. So you can interpret this in a lot of ways. On one hand, with these experiences, these three wands at my back, and as my pillar of strength, basically. And this is also 111, the numerology 111. That comes up to 3 also, 111. So that angel number as well. So with that power and strength, it's like I'm ready to explore new horizons, to go off into the seas, off into the ocean. So there's multiple meanings, and there's lots of inlays and meanings. But I feel like one of it is not to look at what other people are doing and start to feel like you haven't done enough in your life. Be inspired by others, but not to the point where you're going to self-guilting or shaming about that. And to know, that you have a lot of stability. I feel like they're saying, you've done a lot of work over the last few months or the last few years. You've got this. You're ready to explore the unknown now. You're ready to go into your next level of awakening. And this is the 1111, right? The Four of Wands. There's two wands here and two wands here. That's about wishes. And it's also like an archway. It's like a doorway. And there's a nice little castle there. So, you're able to take these experiences and the knowledge that you've gained through that, and then take that step into the unknown. You're going to be welcome into the kingdom of heaven or spirit or God or source, whatever you want to call that. And these could also represent your spirit guide. So I think this is a really good week for you guys to do your spirit guide work. And did I do it? Oh, I think, God, I can't even remember 1 week to the next of what videos I did. It's something about spirit guides. My goodness, forgive me. Okay. So moving on, we have the 7 here. Now 7 is Neptune energy. You have 7 is very spiritual. Sometimes it's a little ungrounded. And as we see, the progression of things here, the figure is sort of fending off the wands that are coming at him. So just to know that no matter what's going on in the world, whatever the media is trying to tell us, a lot's coming out in the media also, a lot of news. I feel like we're going to hear a lot about UFOs and extraterrestrials and stuff like that, even in the mainstream news. And things that have gone wrong in the mishandling of the pandemic, the mishandling of politics and the world affairs and all that stuff. We're seeing news coming up. We're seeing some reveal, shall we say, of what the ultimate plan is for those forces, shall we say, that want to control everything and everyone at the detriment of the great many. So when you want to look into what's really going on behind the scenes, the mass media, the corporations, the government, the deep state, and all that stuff. The idea is stay in your power, stay in your center, stay in your heart, because if you start to go outside of that and stray out of that, you just find all this negative programming and people that are perpetuating all different programs, including some of the conspiracy theories. Some of them are basically rabbit holes or smoke screens, whatever metaphor you like for that, in order to hide you from the truth and to have you to kind of chase the wrong evidence. So it's very fear-based, it's very guilt-based what's happening. So, but if we're in our hearts, we cannot be fooled. That's the bottom line. When you're in your heart, you're not in fear. Like hearts do not fear, hearts love. Hearts cannot get programmed. Only the subconscious mind gets programmed. So the more you work with your heart, the more immune you're going to be to outside programming and being misled. And then you'll know which conspiracy theories are really conspiracy facts. A lot of them are, versus which are the ones that are designed to confuse you so that they can continue to do what they're doing right under our noses while we're too busy bickering with each other, fighting with each other, and rather than going within and finding the truth within. And once you find that, it's very transparent. Trust me, it's very obvious what's going on. I had my awakening in the late 70s, or my first one, or my shaking, or whatever you want to call it. And it was a lonely place. I turned to drugs amongst other things, because of the impact of that experience and feeling like nobody gets me, nobody understands. And then, anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about that. But the point being is that that the truth, we know what the truth is, but there's so much negative programming. We're you're so programmed by society that we sometimes we fear it, sometimes we're blind to it, and so forth and so on. So anyway, I feel like this is a message for a lot, but the wands is action. So take some action also this week. And I feel like they're saying law of attraction. They're popping that into my mind. So when it comes to what you want to manifest, you make it real in your heart first. When it's real in your heart, it becomes real in your consciousness. Your energy feels change. As your energy feels change, physical reality also changes, because physical reality is energy. It only looks physical or form because the human operating system makes us believe that. In other words, the way human beings are set up to perceive energy, a certain bandwidth of energy appears as solid form and solid matter. Like this table below me, you hear me banging on it, and it's solid now, right? Wrong. It's 99.999% empty space, because atoms that make it up are 99.99% empty space. But empty space is not empty space. Empty space has subatomic particles like electrons that move at one tenth or 1/100th the speed of light. Whatever it is, very, very fast. Like an electron can circle the world in 17 seconds fast. That's a lot of energy. So this is not solid, it's energy. And everything is energy. So as we change our energy, because all energy is connected and related, and there's only one energy, but many, many different infinite expressions of that energy. As we change our energy, the energy of the world around us cannot help but to change. And that is what the law of attraction really is. So how do we change it? We work with the heart. And when we make things real in our heart, then it's powerful. And so anyway, so I feel like this is a good time to take action. Put action back in the word attraction, basically. And whatever it is. So I feel like they're saying, the time of planning. I mean, keep planning, but it's time for action also. And again, stay in your heart. And with this Knight of Swords, reverse, that can also represent some aspects of the negative programming that we're subject to. People around you being difficult, news, stuff like that's upsetting, and things of that nature. Knights move, and knights are fire, and swords are air. Um and I feel like they're saying in some cases we just need to maybe let somebody go in our lives that are just giving us a hard time, and not necessarily to listen to those that are challenging what we know is true in our heart, or stuff like that. So I think some of you, a lot of you, I think, are going to really be dealing with either spouses, significant others, family members that are just the word denigrating comes up in my mind. So I think a few of you are just really having to figure out how to move out of relationships or situations where you're subject to abuse, belittlement, guilting, shaming, and all that stuff. And there's somebody here that's really like has had it. It's a female that's probably closer to my age, a little bit younger. So I think you're 50s, maybe 60s, and you're just like, I'm done, basically, and you're getting it. So the universe will have your back, and also there's another family member, I think a sister or a good friend that's going to be really helpful. And they're showing me a name like Joan, Joni, Joanne, or something like that. So I think somebody, either live or as a video, is going to take that as a direct or a specific message. I think somebody's going to have a very abrupt change of jobs, or a move that comes up very quickly, or that you're just going to find a place, I want to say. And I feel like they're saying, collectively as a group, really focus on breathing, long, deep breathing, inhaling love and light when you're relaxed, exhaling, and releasing other people's energies, other people's stresses. Stay in your heart. That is the eye of the storm. That's where you're the most effective. So let's do a Native American card also to just maybe add a little bit to that. Just take a peek at your comments too. It might be all right. And you're Jean. That's close enough to Joan, or Jean and Joan, or Joanne, for me to take that. It probably is a message for you also. Yeah. Uh, All right. Lots of great comments. Yes, yes. Smile attacks. Yes. Yeah, you can check out. Although Tammy did what's called I think it's rapid EFT. So it's, I mean, tapping's part of it, but there's other techniques. But you can check her out also. Um, mm, we check. Okay, yes. So 5 p.m. That's free yoga here on the Medium channel today. Um, Happy birthday, Gene! Yay! Happy birthday to you. 54. Yeah, that would be you. I don't know, 50 to maybe 60s. Joan, Gene. That's again close enough for me. So you can take that as a personal message. Good for you. All right. Clearing mine quickly. Found my card. My card is, or your card and mine. Defiance. Ooh, that's what it looks like. Pipes are wands also, and rods, and so I need to take this in. All right. Sometimes, as I'm looking at this and kind of putting that in the context of this, especially this last card, because there's a similar vibe, in this. Let me move it a little closer for you guys. Um, you know, Defiance, they're kind of saying more like quiet defiance more than anything, not necessarily being belligerent. Now, for those of you that were called my yearly forecast, February, we talked a little bit about a lot of defiance, lawlessness, a lot of stuff like that. We were in, a world where there's heavy programming, to the degree, that um, that somebody who's basically an accused criminal is likely going to run for president again in 2024, and has a good chance of winning, I might add also. And meanwhile, we have a current president, who has major family scandals going on, and pretty much everybody high up in politics now has some form of classified documents in their homes right now, and that's okay. That's our leaders. Basically, that's the structure of our government. Well, we are in USA Pluto return. So for the Americans, although that has a ripple effect around the world, Pluto, is about evolution. It's a near death experience. Pluto is Scorpio energy. It's death and rebirth. So the country's going through that. So a lot of stuff's getting exposed. It's like how are we sort of buying into the World Economic Forum when somebody like Klaus Schwab is telling us that the plan is by that 2030 that you'll own nothing and be happy, and basically that's a page right out of the Communist Manifesto. It's like, what is part of communism? The state owns everything, right? So so that's going on. And what else? You can go down the list basically of things that are inconsistent. Speaking of communism, China's public enemy number one, the biggest threat to the free world. It's been that way for 70 years now, but yet the Western world freely trades with China. I mean, and of course, in the present moment, you can look at that and say, well, this is part of the world structure. You can't just change that. But they've had 70 years to figure this out. It's not just a now issue. And in the 1970s, there were a lot of exposés that kind of revealed maybe why that's happening. You think of slave labor, think of the sweat factories and all that. Do you guys remember that? I think that was more out in the 80s and the 70s. And then because of that, they're offering goods for cheaper. So bottom line is, when it comes to conspiracy theories, it's not rocket science. Follow the money, follow the corrupt flow of power, and then you'll understand, or at least be able to have a foundation to understand what is truth versus what is not truth. Because again, all the conspiracy theories, all the confusion, all the targeting of different groups. There's conspiracy theories for right wingers. There's conspiracy theories for left wingers. There's conspiracy theories for people that believe in aliens and UFOs and spirituality. Go down the line. There's some theories that basically make people scared. So anything that invokes fear is probably not accurate. And the real ones will tell you, well, there's problems in the world and there's chaos and people will suffer, but it's always going to be a hopeful, not like hopium hopeful, not false hopeful, but grounded. Anyway, I think I've driven that point to the ground enough. So for somehow this defiance, and again, it's a quiet defiance. It's like, don't believe it. Be in your heart, be in your power, be in your truth. Then you're strong in your frame, and then other people's beliefs don't become your beliefs as easily. So quiet defiance and standing up for yourself, and even if it means ending relationships and friendships, because there'll be new, more empowering ones that will replace that later on. Oh, we love you too, Colleen. Thank you for that. So let's I have my sacred geometry deck here, which I love. Thank you, Amy. There we go. Here we are. Okay. Adam must clear his mind. I feel like the master teachers are laughing at me right now. Well, we should all be laughing. Ooh, I pulled this one for myself, and I did a whole ceremony using this card on doing some candle ceremonies with law of attraction work and prayer. So alchemy, and a lot of this has sort of a feeling of like sacred these are the sacred geometry cards. Hello. But like the duality, like the yin yang, that the yin is in the yang and the yang is in the yin, and some of the alchemy or working with those energies, for manifestation, turning lead into gold, or energetically turning lead into gold. It's really learning how to blend these opposites and create a unified force, and that's when transmutation can happen, basically. But of course, the programming keeps us in the illusion of duality. Maya, right? That's what the ancient Vedics and Hindus called the physical reality, like the spiritual teacher Maya, illusion. So the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allows the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. So let me hold this close without reflections from the window. And the idea is just, just take this in, you kind of gaze at it. It's not like you're staring, it's a focused gaze. You allow your heart to open and just kind of feel your heart blending with the sacred geometry here. And then it becomes yours because it already is. We are sacred geometry. This is in a visual sense. We're also sacred geometry and sound. So everything has a sonic, a sound, a rhythm, a cadence, a vibration. So basically our body is a symphony of sounds. Our heart makes a note, our brains make another note, our liver makes another note. Of course, it's all mostly outside of the human audible range, so we don't know that, but it's still sonic, it's still vibration, and everything is sound. So that's the another avenue or another medium of understanding what sacred geometry is. It's the symphony of sound and sonics, which is vibration and energy. 2 becomes 3 becomes 1. Beautiful. I love the simplicity of that. Thank you. Little friendly advice here from our yoga teacher. Yeah, this is a great deck. Yeah, great deck. I love it. So I have medicine cards for wisdom from the animals. Right, never too late, right, for tarot time. I just flashing out a comment. Hi, Gil. Jill, I mean, sorry, not Gil, Jill. Unless somebody actually named Gil came out, I'm not aware of it. All right. I'm seeing a giraffe, but we're not going to get a giraffe in the medicine card because it's all North American, animals because it's Native American. But if giraffe comes to you in a vision, it's about having a higher vantage point. Because what do giraffes do? They have these long necks that see down on everything and see down on the tree. So it's about adopting a higher vantage point in life. So this is the one that they got me. Antelope, where the antelope play. And antelopes are playful, right? It's even in that oh yeah, what is it? One of the songs about America. Yeah, and the antelope play. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. Um, so be playful, be humorous. Let me see what the book says about antelope. When did we get this? We got this like I think a month ago. We got antelope. This is the second time recently that we got her. So antelope is actually action. And we were talking about action also, right? That's been a theme today. So the medicine cards agree. And there's a little paragraph here. When time was just beginning, and the tribe of man was small, antelopes saw the two-legged were naked, hungry, and in danger of extinction. The ancestors would soon vanish from Mother Earth if action were not taken. Antelope took action and came into the camp, calling all the two-leggeds together for counsel. Great mystery sent me to teach you a lesson. The lesson is to do. You have no need to be fearful if you know what to do, and then you do it, Antelope said. So basically, astrologically, we've been in heavy retrograde season. That's more about going within and planning. We're out of that. Now we're in action. Law of attraction to manifest. You have to have that yin and yang. Um, in other words, we have to cultivate the right frequencies on an inner level, but we also have to be responsible and responsive on an outer and a human level. So that's where action comes in. So always do something every day to manifest whatever your dream is. One of my dreams is for this channel to really make a mark in not just YouTube but for people. In other words, so the channel really grows, and I take action towards that every day. Right now I'm taking action towards that. And it's really also, when we're talking about like money, business, financial stuff, money is also energy, right? And all energy exists in abundance, including money. So as we evolve, money becomes an exchange for value. So I'm not only taking action, I'm adding value in order to create my desires. So hopefully that made sense. Anyway, it did to me. So last but not least, I have a message from the angels. Saying, I'm just looking at your comments and everything. Play and sacrifice, yeah. So Ellis saying I was written in Colorado Springs. Okay. I don't know what was written in Colorado Springs. I'm sure a lot of great things were written in Colorado Springs. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm just clearing my mind again. We got Athena. I think she's very powerful goddess, right? But according to Doreen Virtue, before she went through her, we'll say transformation, was channeling this information and came up with these angel names. but her message is it is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. And that, of course, it's funny, I was hearing a name like Marion, and when I was pulling this card, and then I read this message, like, oh, of course, Marion Williamson's famous quote, the channel and author of A Course in Miracles, that it's not being powerless that you fear, it's being powerful beyond measure. And the reason that is, and when we're more powerful, we're more visible, we're more subject to scrutiny, we're more subject to possible criticism. Yeah, and yeah, we fear that basically. So we have more responsibility. The more powerful I am, using the example of YouTube, the more my channel grows, the more responsibility I have, because the more lives I'm potentially affecting, the more I basically, place a target on my back, the more powerful I am, and the more that I share this information, because there's those that are scared, that are negatively programmed, that do try to attack me. So, we have a fear of being powerful. It's subconscious. We need to resolve that now, because you're not doing yourself or anybody any good by staying small. And so this, I think, is a message for all of us to take the next step to get bigger, whatever it is, whatever your message is, whatever your job or work is, whatever your spiritual path is, that would be the message. So anyways, very good, everybody. So we'll see y'all at 5, right? For yoga, then at 7 for psychedelic actualizations, talk on the safe and proper use of hallucinogens and spirituality for anybody that's drawn to that or does that or is curious about it. You'll definitely want to check that out. That's going to be live at 7. Thank you, everybody. I love you, and we'll see you at the next video. We'll see you at 5.